Good morning, Guardians. Ebontis here with your weekly reset information for November 22nd. You'll notice a formatting change here just for the week. Got a little bit of a short time window that knocked this one out for you guys, so wanted to get it up there. Also, just been fighting with my computer on a couple things, but I should be back to normal next week, so don't worry. But still wanted to get this stuff up for you guys, so let's knock right into it. First thing we've got is the Nightfall. This is going to be the Fallen Saber Strike. Got modifiers of fresh troops, so you've just got more troops to fight. Match game, so you're going to need to make sure and match those enemy shields on things like captains and wizards, the things that have shields on them. Definitely make sure you're matching that damage type, so it's going to be important to make sure you figure out what you're fighting, especially in that war set section, to make sure you can match that one and keep taking those down quickly. Then you've got Airborne. Up in the air, you'll do more damage. So Warlocks, if you can float in the air, you're good. Imperium Bellicose, you're going to get that benefit for Titans. Hunters, just keep jumping. Maybe Bones of AO so you can stay up in the air a little longer. Finally, you've got Catapult. Keep those grenades coming. Also will be a beneficial way to try and get that alternate damage type if you need to knock out a certain type of enemy. Just keep that in mind, and it may take a couple trial runs till you figure out every damage type you need to do for a match game. Then we will run to the Siva Crisis Heroics. Make sure you guys do this one so you get your Radiant Treasure and your Ornament for the week. Modifiers here are Solar Burn, Celestial Nighthawk, great week for you guys. Throw all the grenades you want, Warlocks. Sunbreakers, just go in there and chunk some hammers. Small Arms, always good. Bring a solid primary with you. Your other weapons are going to be doing 3/4 damage, so Small Arms is going to be beneficial, but with Solar Burn, you're going to hopefully be able to at least boost your damage up to about 150%, so not all bad, but then you're of course fighting enemies that might hurt too, so just be a little careful. Finally, you've got Ironclad. More enemies are going to have shields, so just depending on the strike, like Scions will start to have shields if you're on some Mars strikes. So just keep an open eye of what's actually going to be popping up with shields. You're going to have to start knocking those out a little bit quicker in case it gets hairy. We come over here to the Daily Heroic Story, open the Forgotten Archives at Clovis Bray, and search for a way to defend against Siva. This is the one Rise of Iron mission on Mars. You guys should have all knocked this one out by now. Jump in here and just get your marks for the day and you should be good to go. As for the Crucible side of things, we've got Supremacy for the Daily Crucible. Again, jump in here. One match, pick up their crests and get your 15 legendary marks. Not too bad. Supremacy, if you want to hone your shotgun skills, seems to be the way to survive that match. So jump in here, mix it up, get your 15 legendary marks. And if you're not a big fan of Supremacy, you only have to do it once. Up here for the Weekly Crucible, we've got Mayhem Clash. This one is always just a lot of fun, honestly. Abilities recharge faster. You got faster, special, and heavy ammo spawns. No respawn delay. Pretty much cranks everything up to 11. Have a lot of fun. Get your marks in here for the week, and honestly, work on bounties and things like that. It's a great place to practice things, practice your supers, kind of get used to. Say you're like, I don't do art blade dancer that much. Maybe I want to work on that one a little more. Jump in here. You can get a feel for it, figure out, the best maps to use it on, stuff like that. It's a really good place to have fun, but still practice stuff at the same time because you get to use things that you typically don't. You get to use as often. On the other side of things, you've got doubles, 2v2 skirmish basically. So kill the enemy, revive your teammates, stick together, very important, as opposed to trying to flank one-on-one. You're likely to get separated, so stick together and work together on this one. You should do all right. Also a good thing to do for Grimoire, because this one's not always up and available. If you're trying to get your Grimoire maxed higher, this is one thing you probably need to work on knocking out. I know I haven't finished this one by any stretch, so keep working on this one and max that Grimoire. Jumping into the Iron Temple this morning, we've got the artifacts here at the Cryptarch. And the Memory of Yolder is your first one. You've got a Discipline and Strength roll here. And this is the artifact that will remove the sprint penalty cooldown if you're running around in PvP, running around in PvE. Just a nice one to add to your arsenal. May not have just the most long-term benefit, but if you are doing things like shoulder charging in PvP, removing that sprint cooldown just from a legendary artifact, kind of a nice thing to add to your arsenal. So not a terrible one. There's ones that are kind of better. I like the Hunter Tracker one and Primary Aiming Radar that you can get on the artifact for PvP a little more for just continual usage, but sprint cooldown, not as bad as you might think, so check it out if you don't have it. Secondly, we've got the Memory of Silmar. Full Discipline roll here, pretty solid roll at that. And this is the one in Crucible. Resistance to damage over time attacks is greatly increased. This will basically take most damage over time attacks down to one damage when it ticks down. So firebolt grenades, things like that, are not going to do their full damage. Thorn as well on the weapon side of things. So if you feel like you have issues with those frequently, this is a way to defend against that. You'll still take some damage, but in the end, it's just going to be a smaller amount. So keep that in mind if you want to try that one out. I don't think it's overall probably the best one for PvP in general usage that's going to be better than others, but if it's just something you feel like you struggle with, this is an okay one to pick up and check out. Finally, we've got the Memory of Scory. Nice intellect discipline roll for a change. Haven't seen one of those on an artifact in a bit. And when your super is full, nearby allies supers recharge faster. So int discipline, a great roll on the Memory of Scory artifact. Good start already. And this is a great one for PvE when it comes to the raid and things like that. This is a really good one, so you can basically anytime you're nearby anyone and your super is full, especially for someone like a warlock, it's beneficial because you will help recharge that person's super almost 50% faster. I mean, you won't do it because you're probably not going to stand close enough to them the entire time, but anytime you're nearby anyone, especially on, say, a boss damage phase, you're going to be helping everybody out. If you're running a warlock in solar mode, it's a really good thing you can use. Even on other classes, even if you don't use your super, not everybody pops their super as soon as it's up. Say, like if you're a Titan with a bubble, you're only going to use that in certain points as well. So it's still a good one to have in a PvE setting. It's probably one of the bigger beneficial ones for a team as well, to make sure one or two people probably have this thing. So if you don't have it, this is a great week to pick it up on the int discipline roll. So I would go ahead and nab this one if you don't have it for sure. As for your weekly bounties this week, over here at Shiro, we've got Shock It To Me, use arc damage to kill the Fallen. That's easy enough. Just pull out some arc weapons and mow them down for a little while. You'll be good to go. Pull the plug, kill Fallen Majors and Ultras. I mean, if you do the raid, this one will be simple. Spend some time in Archon's Forge. This one goes down pretty quickly. So just spend some time in the Plaguelands, Archon's Forge, or the raid. This one will be finished before you know it. We've got Archon's Forge Captains. Of course, victories in Archon's Forge against Captains. They're still random on the offerings that drop, so just spend some time in there, work on getting those artifacts, those ghosts to drop, do what you can, keep getting yourself closer to 400, and this is not a bad place to do it. The other side, of course, Servitors, same thing, victories against Servitors when you offer those up. So not too bad today, just pretty much play against Fallen, use some arc damage, and go spend your time in Archon's Forge, and you can do it with some arc weapons, and you'll knock all of these out. So not too bad of a week, pretty beneficial, and these are always a good way to get your Thorn bounty if you haven't accomplished those yet, and also that experience and Vanguard rep at the bottom, continuing to build up your reputation, get you those Vanguard packages, chances at those Vanguard weapons and things like that, also the faction that you're with as well. Make sure you jump in there, get your faction packages so you can keep trying those faction weapons. Some of those are good, and if you can get some great rolls on those, they're pretty viable, so keep getting those packages, even if you are over 390. That's going to be a little lower light level, but you just never quite know which roll you're going to get. And finally, we come to your weekly Shaxx bounty for the Crucible. Back to basics. Exercise your skills in Clash match type. So complete 7 matches, get 50 primary kills, 25 assisted kills, and 25 ability kills. The ability kills take a while, so make sure you're trying to make sure and use grenades that will get you multiple kills. Things like lightning grenades, fusion grenades are great for this. You don't want to use grenades that are going to be ones that will likely damage as opposed to kill. So fusion are good. Any of the ones basically that attach are great for this. But it's not always the easiest thing to get kills with those, so keep that one in mind as well. In general, just go in there, play some Crucible and Clash. You've got Mayhem Clash this week. This one hopefully will count. We'll have to test and see if it does. If it does, that one will be great. Otherwise, just go in there, play some Clash. It's not that bad. 7 matches, you'll probably get your ability kills. Just make sure you use a super where you can try and get multiple kills as well. That'll help speed this along too. So, all in all, jump in here and get your Nightfall tier rewards and see what you can get. Finally, we've got the Wrath of the Machine challenge mode. This is Axis again this week. It's just going to alternate between Vosik and Axis. You guys shouldn't be really surprised. On this one, this is the challenge mode where on the Axis boss fight, when he's going to do those 3 teleports, before you jump on his back and slam, the other person who is going to be empowered and standing near the supercharge plate, make sure they slam that supercharge plate before the other person slams the back. You have to do that every damage phase, so 3 times per each round, and then go step on the platform in the back to survive. Do that over and over until you get enough damage to kill him. Some people can 2-time him. And the quicker you do it, the less of those phases you have to do. So if you can do it in 2 rounds, great. If you can do it in 3, that's probably the max you need if your team's at full damage. So jump in here, get your Access Challenge, and get even more loot than usual out of the raid. But that pretty much wraps it up for me, guys. Sorry about the format today. Just had kind of an odd time situation, and also a constraint of my computer fighting against me. So want to get the video out for you guys still while I could. So I hope you guys still enjoyed this one. As usual, covered all the information for you. Should be back on track for a normal one next week. All in all, guys, thank you again for the support. The channel keeps growing. It's great. If you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like down below. If you guys want to see something change, let me know in the comments. And of course, just check out the channel page, subscribe there, and I will keep the content coming your way. So I'll work on the Nightfall, see if I can get that one knocked out and bring it your way later this morning. So have a good one. I will talk to you guys soon. And as always, just have fun and enjoy. Talk to you then.